Before you scroll any further, imagine discovering that one quiet decision on a film set changed everything behind the cameras. Imagine hearing whispers that one actor chose to pause an important romantic scene, not because of fear or hesitation, but because of a promise nobody else knew existed. What if the truth had nothing to do with contracts or schedules and everything to do with respect, trust, and a friendship that had quietly grown stronger over the years? Stay with this story until the very end because every chapter uncovers another emotional surprise, and you might see these beloved stars in a completely different light. If you enjoy heartfelt celebrity stories, remember to like this video, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. The studio was unusually quiet that morning. Crew members hurried across the enormous set carrying lighting equipment while assistants checked costumes one final time. Everything appeared perfectly organized, yet an unexpected delay slowly spread through the production. Directors exchanged puzzled looks while cameras remained motionless. Everyone had expected filming to begin immediately. Instead, Wu Lei remained seated in a quiet corner, carefully reading through the latest version of the script. He read each page twice before placing it gently on the table. His expression was calm, but thoughtful enough to make everyone wonder what was on his mind. The assistant director finally approached him with a friendly smile. "Everything is ready. We can begin whenever you are." Wu Lei looked up politely before asking one simple question. "Has Zhao Lusi seen these changes?" The assistant hesitated. "Not yet. The revisions only arrived this morning." Wu Lei slowly nodded before closing the script. "Then perhaps we should wait." The assistant blinked in surprise.
Wait.
Everyone else on the production had already approved the scene. The director had approved it. The producers had approved it. Even the writers believed it would become one of the most emotional moments of the entire drama. Yet Wu Lei quietly folded the script and placed it back inside its folder. He smiled gently. "I think this scene deserves another conversation." Those few words immediately spread across the studio. Within minutes, people began whispering. Why would he delay filming? Was something wrong? Did he dislike the new dialogue? Nobody understood that his reason had nothing to do with himself. Several hours later, Zhao Lusi arrived after finishing another promotional event. She noticed the unusual silence almost immediately. Normally, the set buzzed with excitement before filming began. Today, everyone seemed unusually patient. She walked toward the director. "Is something wrong?" The director smiled. "Actually, someone has been waiting for you." She looked across the room and noticed Wu Lei sitting quietly with 2 cups of warm tea already prepared. She laughed softly. "Have you been waiting all this time?" Wu Lei smiled. "Only because I wanted us to read something together first." She looked confused before opening the updated script. As she reached the final pages, her expression slowly changed. The ending had been rewritten overnight. Several emotional romantic moments had been added without either actor discussing them beforehand. She looked back at him. "You asked them to wait." He nodded. "I thought we should understand these changes together before filming them." For a few seconds, she simply stared at him. Not because the scene was impossible, not because she disliked it, but because someone had quietly chosen respect before convenience. The crew watched from a distance as the 2 actors sat together reading every page. Occasionally, they laughed at a line of dialogue. Sometimes they exchanged ideas about how a certain emotion could feel more natural. Nearly an hour passed before either of them stood up. The director finally walked over.
Well.
Wu Lei smiled. "Now we are ready." The atmosphere on set immediately changed. The first rehearsal began. Instead of rushing through emotional moments, both actors carefully built every scene together. They suggested small adjustments that made the characters feel more believable. The director noticed something remarkable. Every change improved the story. Crew members who had worked on dozens of productions quietly admitted they had rarely seen 2 lead actors communicate with such patience. As filming continued, a veteran camera operator smiled to himself. The strongest performances never begin with dramatic speeches. They begin with trust. Later that evening, everyone gathered for dinner after a successful day of filming. One younger crew member finally asked the question everyone had been wondering. "Why did you insist on waiting?" Wu Lei smiled before looking toward Zhao Lusi. "Because stories are created together. If one person understands the emotion while the other is surprised by it, the audience may never truly believe what they see. The room became completely silent. Nobody expected such a simple answer. Zhao Lusi looked down at her cup before quietly smiling. She admitted that reading the revised script together had helped her understand her character in a deeper way. Instead of feeling rushed, she felt included. Instead of feeling uncertain, she felt confident. The producers listened carefully. One of them quietly admitted they had underestimated the importance of collaboration between lead actors. Over the following weeks, the production became famous inside the studio for its unusually positive atmosphere. Whenever major script revisions appeared, the creative team automatically invited both actors into the discussion before filming continued. What had started as one quiet request slowly became part of the production culture. Even new cast members noticed how relaxed the environment felt. There was less confusion, less pressure, more conversation. One afternoon, the director gathered everyone together before another important sequence. He smiled warmly. "Do you know what changed this production?" People suggested better equipment, a larger budget, a stronger script. The director gently shook his head. "No." Respect changed everything. The entire crew applauded. Wu Lei looked slightly embarrassed while Zhao Lusi laughed beside him. Neither of them expected such recognition. Weeks later, the drama wrapped filming under a beautiful evening sky. Instead of immediately leaving, many crew members stayed behind simply to take photographs together and celebrate the friendships they had built throughout the project. The assistant director walked over holding the very first revised script that had caused so much discussion. He smiled before handing it back to Wu Lei. "Perhaps you should keep this." Wu Lei looked at the worn pages and quietly smiled. Not because they represented a delay, but because they reminded everyone that patience sometimes creates better stories than rushing ever could. Zhao Lusi looked toward the empty set one last time. Funny how one conversation changed everything. Wu Lei nodded. Sometimes the smallest choices become the biggest memories. The lights inside the studio slowly faded as the final cameras were packed away. Crew members waved goodbye while promising to work together again someday. Long after everyone had left, the story of that unexpected pause continued to be remembered by those who had witnessed it. Not as a story about refusing to film, not as a story about disagreement, but as a story about professionalism, kindness, teamwork, and the belief that every unforgettable performance begins with two people choosing to understand each other before the cameras begin to roll. And perhaps that was the real secret all along. Not grand gestures or dramatic headlines, but quiet moments of respect that transformed an ordinary filming day into a memory that everyone would carry with them for years to come.